Hey guys, this is a general reading, but before I get into the reading or who it's for, I'm just going to say some quick messages real quick. Please keep in mind that these are general readings, so some, none, or all of this may apply. Energy is fluid, so this could have already happened, it could be happening now, it could happen in the future, it may not happen at all. Some, none, or all of this may apply. I can read it as you. It can be someone else close to you. I can read this as love. It can be career. Just apply it to your life as necessary. Don't make it fit if it doesn't. Okay? Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed to the channel. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. Also, for those of you who have inquired about donations and donated to the channel, it really means a lot to me, for not only the reciprocity of energy, if this video has helped you and all of that, but just, you know, the give take of energy and everything like that. Also, for information on services, so whether donation, services, all of that, my information, PayPal information, email information, all my service information, well, most of it, I'll be updating it soon. Hopefully it will have, I'm in the middle of putting together a website, so I'll actually be able to move it over to there. But all that information is there. So please read all of it, including the disclaimer. Don't just stop at my email address and then email me. It just saves me time. I'm always willing to help somebody out, but if it's there, it saves me time. So please read all of it. But if you still have questions, obviously email me and I'll help you out. So donations, services, all of that information is in the description box below. Any decks that I'm using, I will pin as the top. I'll put the links to the I'll put the links to the decks that you can get, so you know for sure which ones you're getting in the it'll be a pinned comment in the top comment section below. Also, it's also a way to contribute to my channel. It's doing something you were already going to do and it costs you nothing extra. So if you like the deck, you already wanted the deck, you'll know exactly which one you're getting, and it's another way to help contribute to the channel, just as a way of showing gratitude at no extra cost to you, of course. So yeah, please like, share, and comment, subscribe, because between donations, between services, between liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, buying even decks through the links that I provide if you're called to them, they're all ways that help me along my healing journey, that help me heal and learn tools to learn for myself how to heal. To also then learn how to give back to others, because a lot of people, they really need help right now, and it's something that I really am being called to do. I have my master in Reiki, and so I already do that as a service, but I'll be starting to teach that in probably January or February of next year. I have 3 of my 4 shamanic directions of shamanic training done. And if everything goes according to plan in 2020, I will be doing plant spirit medicine, all of which I can either do in person or through distant healing. So it really helps with that, and I greatly appreciate it. I think that's it. Thank you for everything. And so we'll get on to the reading now. This is the general reading for Taurus for just September 2019. It'll be Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. If you're cross-watching, if you're just called to this video, or if you have significant Taurus in your chart. For more of a complete picture, or if this doesn't resonate with you, please check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, any significant placement in your chart, any video of mine that you're drawn to that I've already made or will be putting out. Okay? So everything else I've already said. So I will just get on with the reading now. So most of this I'm just going to have to channel. I mean, I kind of probably already know. I don't know, but I don't even want to act like I know what this is going to come out like, because I'm so engulfed in this energy that you know, for one, I don't want to even project myself into it, even though some of it, I'm sure I'm going to have to use my own examples to share. But the other part is it's such an all over the place, not grounded energy. One day, you know, for the most part, very hermit mode and secluded and thinking and just like knee deep in it. But at the same time, it's like a roller coaster, like just as much as you're sort of like, as soon as you have that, like, you know, you're like back into it type energy. This probably sounds kind of crazy to say, but those of you who are going through it will know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to get started. In the center of your reading, so actually I'll start out with the cards that just wanting to sit at the side, which I think is really an overarching theme here, is you have the wheel, or I'm sorry, the world. So, you know, kind of like the light and the dark, the snakes, this, which is kind of like the spiritual realm. This is the dark realm. You have a lot of duality. There was another spread that I pulled that it kind of does, it is in this one too. But just something about it, I was like, I'm just going to pull this up. And there was a lot of duality in that, a lot of healing in that, a lot of either suspicions or having to watch out for somebody, which I think also is being mirrored in the sense of something within yourself. I think it's because there's something within yourself that is almost that duality, or that thing you're having to almost watch out for or fight with, or there's still a needing to go inside and heal and integrate, to see something, basically. So your other one is the Hermit. And, you know, she's kind of like the medicine lady of the village, but she's just kind of watching. So someone could either be watching you, maybe a Virgo. It doesn't have to be, or you could kind of just be sitting back and just watching. But either way, it's very much the Hermit vibe. And I think like these are like the two biggest energies for Taurus is going on right now, is the energy, or the world, and the Hermit. So we'll just go on, but there's a huge duality, healing, and hopefully helping you to integrate and learning how to go between worlds. The center of your reading, you have the Page of Swords. So again, I mean, you could have somebody watching you. But I more get that this is you really trying to come through inside of you. In this card, this is a young witch, if you will, and she's practicing her magic in the moonlight. You know, she's got her book of shadows, and she's got her candle, and her, I don't know how you say it, a thame, or I don't know, like her knife thing. The owl is there with her, which you also have as one of your animal spirits, right by the full moon. And when I first looked at this, the first thing I could really see was, it was almost like this is you, this is that inner part of you, or that child, and she's trying to like push or burst through, even if it's through a way of like a realization or knowledge. So you may also, you know, if you guys are okay with that, like you may want to spend some time, either in the dark, preferably. I know you're probably like, well, I'm already in the dark, but like literally in the dark, or maybe even under the moonlight or outside, and just listen and see, you know, what your intuition brings to you. Because she's in the dark doing stuff. There's not only things that she can do in the dark that the moonlight and the intuition helps her with, but there's also a secrecy to that, like being able to do your work and evolve in private. And I don't know if that's because you're not really trusting right now, or because it's how you feel safest. Like, even though part of you kind of uncomfortable with it, because Tauruses are usually like, you know, all the love and somewhat fluffy. I mean, they can be a little... I feel like Tauruses for a lot of years have been like low-key sad in a way. I mean, they'll show it. They're not as like much like Sagittarius in the way where they have to paint a pretty, you know, like a smile, and they have a lot more going on underneath. But the one thing they really have in common with Scorpio being their other half, not other half, but their opposite sign, is there is a shared love of pain. And I think that Scorpios just sort of embrace that more, even if some of them don't say it. Like, most of them embrace that more, whereas Tauruses tended to do it in a light and fluffy way, like a victim kind of way, like, oh, why did that happen to me, but then keep kind of going back to it. But the reason a lot of times that they do is because there is a part inside of them that they're wanting to evolve to. And it's, I think, this part that's wanting to come out and evolve, because both your main card and your crossing card, they're both very dark, shadowy cards. So there's a lot pushing you here right now to not only go within and see things in your shadow or within your underworld, because I think that's where she or he, that other part of yourself, resides. And it's almost like you have to go there to find them. But also it's learning, like, kind of like I heard this Rihanna song earlier that kind of really summed it up, and it was her song about dancing in the dark. Like, she wanted to dance in the dark and light up the night. And that's really the way that I feel with this card. It's like I was saying before, I think it was in my last reading, about embracing the shadow and being empowered in the shadow. And that's where your walls come down so that you fully come through and shine again. And this is a perfect example of her becoming empowered in the dark. You don't necessarily have to do like witchcraft type stuff in order to do that. I'm just saying this is a perfect example of becoming empowered in the night. She's using the night energies and the night forces and this dark and this shadowy nature to learn and to grow and to observe and see, and not be like, oh my God, why am I here? This sucks. But to be, what can I do in this energy? You know, like, don't have the victim mind frame. Have the what is possible mind frame, the curiosity mind frame. But what can be stopping this is, what's crossing this is, you have nature. This is the devil card. And there's fawns dancing in the background. One's even like waving him over, this bear. You also have bear as an animal spirit of yours that's showing up. But this guy is setting a bear trap. So he has the choice. Like, he's sitting there, like, watching this trap being built for him or something, or to go dance with the fawns. So a lot of it is very much about self-limitations. You know, your own self-limitations and restrictions and fears and codependencies will be stopping you from doing this and empowering you in the dark. You know, she's also, in a way, per the meaning of the card. So this could also be somebody with watching you with a devilish energy as well. There is a lot of watching energy, whether you're watching somebody else or they're watching you. But we'll go back to this. She's also preparing for a test. You know, she will be tested on this, whether it's through a teacher, the universe, or just her own, you know, mother witch or goddess or whoever that she's practicing for. Like, she is going to be tested, and so she's practicing her skills and to become better and to show what she can do. So I mean, it could be this test where you're like, you're just stuck. Like, this bear is just stuck because he doesn't know which way to go. Like, do I go have fun, or do I stand here and watch for the test or the challenge that's being presented for me? Almost in a way of, the pain probably feeds them, but more than likely it's because if I just stay put, there's less of a chance of choosing wrong or messing something up. And also, if I just sit here and watch and try to control the situation, then I'm less likely that something will happen to me. It's almost like, will you forget that it's there, or it's a feeling or knowing that something's going to come, whether this is something from the past, or I know a lot of Tauruses also can feel that things are coming. And that is this. They can feel this coming as well, but they can also feel something else coming that they feel like will be a type of test. And honestly, I feel like it's stopping a lot of them from doing their stuff and from flying, really, because they're just like, almost have like analysis paralysis, and they're just stuck in trying to like figure it out. Like, what will it be? When will it be? Like, which is, it's counterproductive. Like, it's, you know, stopping you from doing the growing to actually be prepared for it. And it may come and you're not prepared for it, or it may never even come because you're not prepared for it. Like, you're not meant to stop and focus on it. You're just, your intuition is getting so strong that you feel something's coming, but yet you don't know what it is at the same time. Like, you kind of know, or you think you know, you might know, you may not know. It may be better than that, but your mind is just reeling with all these thoughts of you know, what it could be. What would it turn out like? What are they going to do? What should I do? What should this, like, and Taurus is also, I don't think they get enough of, for lack of better words, credit, of dreaminess in the way that Pisces do, but Tauruses can tend to dream and daydream and think too much. They can think too much, which again leads to the analysis paralysis. I think that's how you see it. I don't use paralysis analysis. I think it's analysis paralysis. It doesn't matter though. You know what I'm talking about. And it's your own energies within you that is blocking you from actually truly like being and getting prepared. Like, you don't have to stand there and try to figure it out. You don't have to choose this way or that way, or just go explore yourself and explore things, because it's through that your true stuff is going to come up anyways, that you don't have to worry about what's coming or what's happening. A lot of the reason before, actually, that stuff happened to cause this type of, I don't want this to happen or that to happen again, like, was because you didn't have her come through in you, her or him. Like, you were more dependent on things. You were more fearful. You were more maladaptive. And on one hand, you're like, no, I'll be prepared this time. And really, it's not, you're not even realizing like you're going to be stuck exactly where you were, because you're in the same energies that you were in before, but almost like worse. Like, instead of having the heart of a child, you now don't have the heart of a child, and you're like paranoid and suspicious. You're like complete like lockdown, almost, in a way. And that's fine. Like, I think that's the point. I'm not even saying you're not where you're supposed to be. I think that's why there's this whole energy, or hermit energy going on right now, is to end this cycle that I'm talking about. Because like I said, you almost think you're doing yourself a service by doing this. But you're actually preventing that inner thing, that inner child, inner you, inner whatever from coming up that needs to come up within you. This knowledge, this new thought form, this new way of thinking, this new way of being, like the Page of Swords, maybe even way of communicating. But you have to let the energies flow in order to let that happen. Be creative and curious with these energies. Don't lock down with them. Remember that you truly can go in and out, even if you feel like you can't. But at the very least, be curious in this energy. Because curiosity will lead you possibly to challenges, or lead you to cool things, and that will increase your self-esteem, which will then make you feel empowered. There's a reason you're being brought to this energy, and it's not just to sit in misery. It's not just to, it's to reflect, but you don't only move in the light. I don't know any other way to put that. You don't only move in the light. You move in the dark too. So because you're uncomfortable, and this is a big Taurus thing, when they become uncomfortable, they lock down. you have to release your claws, your hooves, whatever you want to say, and start to mingle, like start to go. I mean, and that's the other thing too, like you have to open your eyes to see. And even if you haven't improved your night vision, well, then start to move around to improve your night vision. Teach your body. I hope you guys are flowing with me on this. Like, teach your body and your senses how to navigate. You will not learn that sitting still. You have to try. There has to be trial and error to learn what worked, what didn't, what was that sound, what was that sense, what was that thought, what was that intuition, what was my body telling me at this time. And you can call on animal spirits to help you as well, so research and look into that. You can look into animals that navigate in the dark and call on them to help you, such as bats. Dolphins, they use echolocation. Both of them do. Owls are great. A lot of animals that are of the night animals are crow, toad, bat, snake is also one. I don't know, just come to whatever you're being guided to, but I would say probably the best for that would be owl, or especially bat, or even dolphin. And the waters are also the subconscious and the dark as well, because they use echolocation. But either way, do stuff and test yourself in these energies. This is how you learn about yourself. This is how you learn about your capabilities and your abilities and your likes and your dislikes and your, oh, that wasn't so bad, or, oh, wow, I'm pretty good at this type things, you know? You have to explore different things and different realms and different ways of being to see a possible different side of you. You're not going to figure out a different side of you by doing what you've always done. You have to do something different. And it doesn't have to be like balls to the wall different, but it has to be somewhat different. A lot of Tauruses, and it may not be all, but a lot of them, they're literally like learning more how to navigate through the night. They're evolving to that. Like I said, when all signs evolve, they evolve first to their opposite sign, and then the rest of whatever else they need to. And Scorpio is about the underworld, the shadows, you know, the unknown, the unseen. So in a way, this feels like you're being stuck, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like backtracking, like you were doing so much better, but it's almost just like you're in a new realm or a new like school. It's almost like you went from like 8th grade of middle school to like 9th grade, or like you went to graduate school or something. Like, yeah, like you're higher than the other places you were, but now you're at the bottom again. You're learning something new. So please don't let the shadow and the fear and the cyclic whatever thinking and negative thought pattern of, you know, I'm a victim come into play here and be like, oh God, you know, here we go again, or what's this, or I was doing so much better, I was getting my footing back. Yeah, you were. And that's why it was ready for another level. So I know some of you are like, you just want to be done and you just want to get back to like that grounded place you were. But it's almost like that thing I said in the past, like, don't be okay with just minimally improving. These are great leaps that are being asked to be taken. And it's up to you what you do with it. But this is a time for Taurus and many other zodiac signs to do what they've never done before. Which means we're really going to have to like come out of our shell. We're really going to have to like bust out and play and explore and not come out just to like pull back again. You know, a lot of bulls come out and they're like, and then they kind of go in their own thing. Like, I think I'm kind of getting this indication more and more that due to all the energies that are happening, a lot of signs, including Taurus, like, they're not gonna be the same anymore. They're not gonna be what historically or stereotypically or whatever has been placed on the signs. They're going to be different. And you're going to have some of your core things there, but some of them need to change, especially the ones that keep you in a lower frequency, which means you're looking at removing the energies that would keep you in a lower frequency or unevolved Taurus vibration, which is fear, limitations, stubbornness, fearing change, wanting to have leisure time all the time. Like, this whole way of thinking is going to have to change, or at least put on hold for a minute of, okay, I just got to get through this and then I'll be able to chill again. I just got to get through this and you can do that, but I'm just saying, for personal experience, you're going to get pissed off every time. And you're just going to keep getting pissed off, and you're going to keep getting pissed off. One thing, when I was truly going through my dark night of the soul and I went to Sedona, and I had to face some of my fears there, one of the lessons I got there that was preparing me for this was, don't wait for it to stop. Just go with the flow and ride it. Like, just go. Don't look to the past. Don't look to the future. Just do right now and just keep stepping and trudging along. But don't wait for it to end. Because this is such a time and a vibration of, I'm sorry that I'm still on the first two cards here, but hopefully you guys are really looking for a lot of direction for those of you who are coming here, and this will help you. This is really a time of fast movement forward, of shifts and of changes. That doesn't happen, for one, quickly. It goes over time. And for two, it doesn't happen in one phase. We, as our human bodies, because of its own limitation, would not allow us to do that. It has to be in layers, like shedding an onion. It has to be. So really, really watch your victim mindset here. And I say this lovingly because Tauruses do. And I know where it comes from. I am a Taurus sun. And my Mercury is also in Taurus, which is in my 12th house, which is my subconscious. So it's this kind of like, this sucks, poor me thing, especially when it impedes on our leisure and our comfortability. Like, our whole lives, we've been trained and training ourselves to look at leisure and comfortability. That's our goal. Leisure and comfortability. And yes, you can still have that. I'm not like, guess what's gone forever. But there has to be a way of shifting that mentality to not being like, oh, all right, let me get through this and then be done again. No, find a way to, and I'm working on this, to find a way to help you guys as well, of shifting this way of thinking to where you become excited about these things. Not, all right, I'll get through it today, And you know what? It might have to start that way. And that's okay. It might have to start that way. To where just at first, you're like, okay, let me do this and get this over with, and then go back to what you want. And then just keep doing it and have those, you know, because we are still Tauruses, so have that just slow change so it's not so rapid and, you know, jarring like a tower energy. If you go too slow, though, you might actually get the tower energy, which don't mistake that in readings. It's not that you get the tower energy because of it. That is your perception. Okay? So just make little changes if you have to, and be consistent about it so that even your reality can change a little so it's not so jarring. I mean, if you want to do it quickly, then whatever, do it. But my point is, this is not going to end. And if you expect that, you're going to be sorely mistaken. You're going to be let down. Do not expect this to end. The upside is that if you continue doing these little things, you won't want it to. Because you will eventually line up to the vibration, and you'll want to move with it and become excited with it and see the benefits in it. Tauruses don't like change because it usually means uncomfortability and loss. But that is a perception, which means in order to roll with these energies, Taurus's perception, I'm not sure if it's my eyes that are fuzzy or the thing, but Taurus's perception is going to have to change. I'm not sure what we'll turn into, but it's going to have to change. They're fast energies, at least right now, which means, I don't know, just look at the way you're thinking. I mean, think about it. When something comes at Taurus, like a Taurus can have no energy, no motivation, no excitement, right? None. And then all of a sudden there's a fire lit under their butt because something happened. And it's usually fear-based. Something they really, really want, but usually fear-based. And all of a sudden, Tauruses have all this energy, all this motivation, and they have, where they didn't think they were creative, all of a sudden they are. Where they didn't think they had resources, all of a sudden they have tons of resources. If you have to shift your mind to figuring out something about that to get you going, then do it. I'm trying to do it in a way where I don't have to put myself in a fear-based mentality in order to get going on certain things. But I think I completely just lost my train of thought. But just tell yourself or remind yourself it's there. Otherwise, you will get a reminder from the universe. One thing that does help me with this is writing and journaling and writing down, because my mind plays tricks on me a lot. I also have a lot of Gemini in me. So my mind does play tricks with me a lot. So writing down like what I actually do want, what are my actual goals, because sometimes my old ways, like this, the devil energy, my old ways can come back in and be like, this sucks, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. And I really do. You know, I really do want to do them. And I feel better when I do them. So maybe journal and write down like, you know, goals. Just get the energy out of you through writing, or write down like, if you're trying to shed old ways of like a way of being or thinking, or like say a person or something, write that down. Like write down what you thought then, write down what you really want now. Like I'll give you an example of, say like maybe a job, what you used to want in a job. And what do you really from your heart want now? What do you feel? A way of life. Who do you think you are? Who did you think you were? Who do you feel you are now? What would you like to be? What would you have to do? What actions and thought patterns would you have to do or have to be that person? Because this is a time of creation. You don't just have to create physical things. You can create within yourself, which is really what Tauruses are being led to do right now. They're being led to create themselves, exactly like this. Her busting through. What her or him are you going to create to bust through? The seed is there, but it's up to you to nurture it and to finish its mold. This could be anything. I mean, I would mostly put this energy on you, but if you are like letting go of old bad habits of people you're dating, what do you want in a partner? What don't you want in a partner? Like, write this down. What are the characteristics of somebody that you're either going after or you're having a hard time letting go of? Do they match up? Like, look at it on paper. If you have to get out of your own illusion, which is exactly, okay, so that's these energies. Okay. The illusion of the moon here. So on one hand, these shadowy energies are coming to show you stuff in your subconscious that are of you and to embrace and empower, but also to show you your own illusions. And sometimes it helps not to like drown in that or be, and I think that's what Tauruses are having, because, you know, they do have this shadowy side, Tauruses do, of, you know, it hurts so good type thing. Kind of like, I mean, we are Scorpios, opposite sign, so it hurts so good. So we can tend to wallow in that, or get stuck in that, or be consumed by that. And sometimes you have to remember, and this helps by writing as well, but this is not me. You know, you could be in it. I'm not just talking about the darkness. I'm talking about anything you find within that. Like, I think that's what a lot of Tauruses are finding right now is, this is not me. And I'm not just talking about like you, what you are right now. I mean, like, whatever it is you're thinking, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you want, whatever this cycle is that needs to end, whether it's you, your identity, what you go after, what you want, whatever it is for you, like, this is not me. And if it is, I don't want it to be. Which means you need to go back to the drawing board, which is why I'm saying it would help to write this stuff out. Get it? Sometimes you have to get out of yourself. So I'll give you another helpful thing for this. I'm sorry, this is going to be a long video. Most Tauruses usually like that. So, but you got to get out of yourself sometimes. Sometimes you need to go in and experience, and sometimes you need to get out. Like I said, you can go in and out. Perspective, though. Because you want to see what's there. What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you experiencing? And then something that will help with that is getting it on paper so that you can see it with your eyes as well. Not just inside, but outside. Combine, integrate. See it on all ways and all dimensions so that you can see what is not lining up. I'm going to use the most obvious because most people come to tarot. A lot of them come for love, right? So if you're sitting there like, I really want them to come back. This is just an example. Just giving you an idea of what I'm talking about. I really want them to come back. And you could possibly feel them coming back, right? You're just like, I feel it. I feel something. And you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Am I going to be ready? Am I not be ready? Are they going to be ready? Blah, 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 blah. You know, all those stupid thoughts. Not stupid. You get what I'm saying. Okay. So, write down on a piece of paper, what is your thoughts of them? Like how they are, at least the way you know of them. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. Write it down. What do you want in a partner? You can apply this to any part of your life. we're going to talk like this. What do you want in a partner? What do you really want in a partner? And be honest with yourself. Don't go after, preferably, unless it is something you really want. Like most people, especially women, will go after the energy signature of their fathers or masculine type figure. And let me just say this. Your father or the masculine figure in your house was your father. You did not date your father. They are your father. A lot of people, like, they grow up, that whole Freudian thing, and they want to be with their father. Not really, but you get what I'm saying, the energy, someone like their father. But you don't know what it's like to date your father. Sometimes it's good. I mean, even if the guy's balanced, like, you know, I always want to date father. You don't know what that's like. So throw that out the window if you can. Think about what you actually really want. Like, what are your needs? What are your must-haves? What do you find helps you thrive and grow? Now, write down the characteristics of this other person. And look at them side by side. If they line up, great. I mean, even then, I wouldn't sit there and wait. I mean, one thing that should be on your list is they are emotionally and physically available. You know, so if they're not, then you should still be creating and doing your thing. But most of the time, they're not going to line up. And what you probably will also find is that if you write down on paper, what did I like about this person during the time when like things were good, what like originally attracted you to them, whether it was real or not, it doesn't matter. And how, not even so much about themselves, like what did you like in the sense of how did it make you feel? What were the benefits? What did you experience internally, externally, or whatever? Because a lot of that stuff that comes up with that is going to be what that person, like you just projected that onto that person. Is what you're wanting, your shadow is wanting you to create within yourself. If you want to know more on this, hit me up for services or whatever. I don't want to drag the whole reading into this. It's already 45 minutes and I'm on two cards. But another thing that can also help you maybe pull yourself out of this, you know, just being so consumed by your emotions or your subconscious or the dark, is, for one, your sovereignty. I mean, just know you have control over it. But you know, I like to view myself as that my higher self is almost like sitting there with a game controller and like, you know, on the avatar or whatever. So you can also, and you could do this through meditation where you like pull yourself out and be the observer, and then you could be the observer observing the observer observing yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's almost like, I don't know how many of you guys have played video games, but have you ever played those games where you can change the view? So you could view it as like first person, you could view it where you're hovering, you could change the view in the game. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and I wouldn't do this all the time in the way, like don't do this in a way of escaping your emotions or the uncomfortability. It's not going to work in that way. But if you're trying to pull yourself out of it so you can shift perception, exactly like you do in the game, then I would do it in that way where if you want to feel the emotions more, or you want to see what's going on, then be within it in that first person view where you're fully experiencing and all of that. But if you're finding yourself consumed in it and you've got a lot of what you need, or you're like, okay, I need to get out of this so I can reflect a little bit, then imagine yourself and your perspective coming in and almost kind of viewing you. Like, know that you are not your emotions. Know that you are not your feelings. You are not your thoughts. I kind of had this breakthrough one time when I was like working out, and it was, you know, like Tauruses don't like pain. They don't like to be uncomfortable. So, and something guided me in the middle of it to be like, I am not this. Like, I am not this pain. And it's weird, but in that moment, the pain did not consume me. I was able to observe myself feeling the uncomfortability, but it did not consume me. And I was able to push through it. I mean, I probably could have anyways, but it wasn't so heavy on me to be able to push through it. So if you find yourself having, because there's a lot of emotional stuff coming up right now for Tauruses to experience and reflect on and work through. I don't know if I'm having a type of heart chakra opening or if it's just a purging, maybe both. I don't know. But I'm very sensitive lately to where any little thing, I mean, even happy things, like my heart just swells so much and I just start crying. So, that I don't mind as much. If you find yourself kind of in the deeper, darker part of it though, and you're getting lost in the perspective because it's very confusing. Like, your subconscious can be very confusing and you can get lost in it, right? So when you need to do that, set the intention to, like, if you have to, look at a video game on that. I don't know, but where instead of seeing first person, you're seeing and you're hovering the game and then you're watching your person go. Almost look at it like, okay, I set my intention to, like, I don't really want to get up and do this right now, but I know I need to, so I'm going to get up and move her to go. Whatever you have to do, or just tell yourself, I am not this pain, I am not this thought, I'm going to get up and go. Whatever it is, I can't tell you everything on it. You're going to have to start to play with your own stuff. It's all about what you want and your intention, okay? So I'll finish this up and then move on. But so the 3 cards I say of what this is, and they're kind of on their own on it, is you have the moon, this is the 5 of Swords, and you have the comparison. But you actually have the 5 of Swords also in your crowning position. And then you have the 4 of Pentacles. So I think this, honestly, I feel like I've already said a lot of these energies where there's a lot going on in your subconscious where you're really looking at a lot of your old conflicting, thought patterns and cycles and, I don't want this, I want this. Like it's just literally like 2 parts of you, just going at each other, not working, and which one's better, which one's this, like these trees are like, they both have their benefits. The oak doesn't look at the bamboo and be like, man, I wish I was hollow like the bamboo. And the bamboo doesn't look at the oak and be like, man, I wish I was as thick and woody as that. You know what I mean? Like, humans do that. We complicate things instead of just being. Just be. And whatever comes up that wants to, don't overthink it. Don't complicate things. Just do it. If you want to do something, do it. If you don't. If something's bothering you, don't do it. This is for me too. I mean, I not only am a Taurus, which a lot of times are thinkers, but my moon and rising is Gemini. But there's something, even if that you're holding on to with this 4 of Pentacles. Like I said, it's the gripping down energy. So it's like you got flung into your moon, and then you got into this, like, oh my God, like, what's this? What's this feeling? What's this feeling? What does this mean? Oh my God. And you're getting consumed by it all. And instead of moving the energy or pulling out of it, this is a great time also, guys, to be in your body, whether it's through, obviously, meditation and journaling helps move these energies too, but walking or yoga or whatever your thing is, bike riding, soccer, football, like volleyball, racquetball, I don't know, dancing, whatever it is, be in your body at this moment. It will help you move these energies as well. But instead of moving these energies, you're locking down, exactly like I was saying. And it's not working for you. And it's also the reason also why maybe these energies in the past, you're like, ugh, this sucks, is because you've never really navigated through these. Whenever you get uncomfortable like this, you lock down. You can't do that anymore. You've got to push through. And you've got to move the energies. Hopefully some of the stuff I just said helped you, or is at least a start. I don't know. In your foundation, or it could even be your subconscious, you have the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. So there's almost a negotiation here. This subconsciously is what's going on with this whole moon comparison. Okay. And with the Four of Pentacles, like I was just saying, because this Two of Swords is like there's a negotiation going on, and they have to work together. I guess someone could get cut out, but ideally they have to work together. And, you know, the Two of Wands is very much about, you know, succeeding and doing something, but a new doorway, a new path, like a new way of being, doing things, thinking, or whatever. Subconsciously, there is a negotiation going on within you. You're almost trying to find that happy medium of not so much about, you know, who am I, who do I want to be, which you might want to write that down just so you could see on paper and know, like, okay, what actions, thought patterns, and all that will get me to this, my goal that I would like to be. I'd like to be this person. Is about almost like a negotiation of, yeah, I can do that. Like, I'll start to do that, but I'm not doing this. Like, you're trying to find that, almost like, I don't know about Taurus, like having their way or being stubborn, like, you know, what can I do? What do I, you're really baby stepping it on what will I be okay with? What will keep me at peace? Like, there's just this negotiation going on within you about what you will do, what you won't do, how do you feel about it? You're not really sure. It's almost like you're trialing the different ways. Like, what will happen if I do stuff? What will happen if I don't do stuff? What will happen if I do this? What will happen if I don't do that? So in a way, this is helping you out, but it's almost like you're over negotiating. Like, you're that person who is just, say if someone was doing this to you, you'd be like, I'm tired of talking about this. Like, we either need to poop or get off the pot type thing. Like, and you wouldn't choose to work with them again in the future. You know what I mean? Like, that's you. That's what you're doing to yourself right now. It's that annoying, blocking, like not easy to work with part of yourself. And part of you just like, well, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And the other part's like, I'm literally about to cut your head off. I am tired of having this conversation. I am tired of going back and forth. Pretty soon, I am going to stab you in the eyes with these knives and I'm going to cut your head off. Like, if you don't figure it out. And it's a little gruesome. But you're getting that, like, enough's enough type thing. And this is a part of yourself. It's probably this part right here that's trying to come up against this part that's crossing you. This devil energy. These are the two parts of yourself. In your past or your recent past, you have the High Priest, which is the Hierophant, and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is you, like, working on and committing to work on something. It's just literally your cycle that I'm staring at, because it's like, so you started to, and then now what you're currently thinking in your crowning position is you have the Fool and then you have the Five of Swords. So you're stuck again. You're conflicted about this new beginning that at some point you started to work at. But now you're in that kind of Fool and Five of Swords, that battle energy. It's the same as like this, where they're like the negotiating. But in your subconscious, it's trying to be negotiate, but you're at a stalemate almost. And then crowning you, you have the Five of Swords, where maybe you're actually starting to try to negotiate, though, because this guy in this particular card, he has 3 of the knives or swords. And this guy has 2, and it almost looks like he's offering him 1. It's almost like a part of you being like, okay, here, you could have 1 of my swords, and it'll be the 4 of swords so that you can rest and move past this. I only need 1. Because that, I at least have an idea with that. You can have 4. Because it's like he has 3. So this is what's holding him up, is this 3 of Swords energy. This guy has 2. So it doesn't serve either one of them. It doesn't serve this guy to have a 3 of Swords. And it doesn't serve this guy to have a 2 of Swords. It's almost like you're moving, exactly like I was saying. Like you're moving your pieces around in your life and in your head. Which is probably like your perception. This is Swords, your perception. To be like, well, it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve this part of me to have 3 swords, because all I'm going to think about is hurt here. And it doesn't serve this part of me to have 2 of swords, because now I'm just at a stalemate. So maybe we can like manipulate this and move this around a little bit, and I'll have 1 sword, and I'll still have that enlightenment communication. And you can now have 4 swords, and you can have the rest and the rehabilitation and the reassessing to plan to go forward. I hope you are following me on this thought process here, but it's almost like your thinking is, and I don't know if this is good or bad. I don't know if this is you manipulating yourself or if this is you really working to get out of this, and this is what being in this period has done for you or will do for you in September. But you're trying to shift your perception and the moving pieces in it about this new beginning or even taking a risk. Now, apparently, based on these energies, you do pretty well, I think. We'll see. Sometimes I'm surprised. It doesn't go the way I think. But you have the Empress, which is the Earth Mother, and you have the Page of Wands. So here she is, creating, abundant. And this is you also as the Page of Wands, I believe. And you are... He's forming a circle, like he's casting a circle. So while you're creating, this is you going on your new creative venture, you're protecting yourself. Let me see something. This talks about donkey. Donkeys are really not. I might have to go in my own mind. Donkey. They'll call to figure out what donkey is. But a donkey, a symbol of courage, opportunity, awakening wisdom, and learning, carries the load. And I kind of came up with this idea today that, to me, the Empress is... The Empress has an integration of the inner child, the heart of a child, and the wisdom of an adult. So again, here's your mixture of the child and the adult. But you do go on creating. But you are learning to protect yourself in this process. Like you start to move forward with these energies. The thing is, a card that came out with it that kind of wants to sit underneath it. So it kind of looks like this. Let's see if I can get them all in. This is the Lord of Shadows. This is the Death card. So if you look, he's kind of sitting here, not only watching these two, but he's like, there's somebody watching by a tree, and they're watching, like, so here's transformation, but here's an old man and a younger guy. So this is also cycles, passing on what you know and all that, like transformation, death, all of that, like passing on the knowledge. So maybe you do pass on knowledge or something. But I also got from this, the first thing I got was, again, somebody watching. So either you're watching somebody or somebody could be watching you. But I also get there's still a part of your shadow that's kind of lurking, like something that you don't see or you haven't addressed. And that's fine. You know, that's the way it happens, you know, like an onion. It comes in stages. So you get through this stage and you get back to Empress energy and you start to create again. But there is something in the shadows that your shadows and in general for you to deal with. Let's see if I can pull something up. Tell me about this death card. So the Hermit, which is exactly what you have over here. And like I said, I felt like this Hermit is watching too. So it could be a shadowy part of you also watching you to come out within you. But some of you might also have a Virgo, or somebody with Virgo-like energy. Maybe even a Scorpio and Virgo. They have Scorpio and Virgo in their chart. Actually, at one time, I think Scorpio and Virgo were actually the same sign. And they did end up being separated. But somebody that has a lot of Scorpio and Virgo energies in the chart, which I feel they're very similar. They're not obviously the same, but to me they are very similar anyways. Tell me a little bit more about the death. And it might be somebody from your past. So either from childhood or there's nostalgia. But there's something from your past, but also something within you. So you may have even figured out a way to, while moving around these mental pieces, to make it to where it doesn't block you anymore. Like you're like, well, I can't do anything about it right now. I can't. And it's really blocking me. I've got to find a way to move past it. So you might have literally, like I said, found a way to move past it. And you go and create and you protect yourself in the process, but it's lurking. It and or somebody is lurking. To be probably presented when it needs to be. And I don't even feel like this is wrong. I don't feel like it's like, oh, you're you're ignoring things, you're denying things, or sweeping under the carpet. I think you're like, you've done what you could. You know what I mean? Like, you've done what you could. And you've got to move out of it. So you start trying to figure out different ways that you can to how can you utilize or move forth and create in this energy. And that's what you do with This Is What's Lurking. How you see yourself is the Six of Pentacles. I think you're trying to have a balanced, even give and take. You might feel a little injustice on one side. You're giving someone else none. I don't really focus on that. I think it's mostly, yeah, exactly what I was saying here. Like, you gave a part of yourself. You gave a part of yourself the Four of Swords. You're giving a part of yourself a mental break. You know, which is probably from this subconscious negotiation. To move, because you know you need to negotiate in some way in order to move forward, which is why you have the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords here in your subconscious. So that moves to your thinking of, okay, I need a new beginning. Let's move some mental pieces around. And you do. And so now here you are. There's this part of you. Apparently, maybe it's your conscious part that got the Four of Swords, which is the rest. You're allowing yourself this mental break. You're giving yourself a little balance. Get a little bit more about this Six of Pentacles. I just get like really to start to build again. Because I don't know if this flipped. It came out like this, but my finger flipped it. So tell me about the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, I think that's why it flipped. It doesn't know what it wants either. Like, you're giving yourself a break so you can get some balance so that you know where you want to put your energy and what you want to build. In your environment, you have the Star reversed. And as clarifiers for that, there's the Page of Pentacles, the Lovers. This is a human, and like, I don't know what they're called, like half human, half fawn. It's kind of weird, actually. And then the Two of Pentacles. There's your Two Pentacles. And there's like an energy ball between these two that are now alike going between these two. So if you look almost too, it's almost like an evolution, the way I get it. And this particular Lovers is really having to compromise. So it's an internal balance within yourself too, because it's two very different things having to work together. Like, this is a human or a fairy lady, and this is half human, half fawn, which is weird that this devil, the bear, is going between the human and the fawn. But so this energy, it's almost like she comes across this energy and they've evolved together into these, is the way I kind of get it. The thing I'm mostly getting, though, is that, and I think this is the thing from the past, this shadow energy that's lurking. This didn't happen. This whole, you know, you're just moseying away in your own energy, starting something new, and you come across this type of connection that's so different. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of negotiation and all that. It's just different, but it just works. When this type of connection works or happens, like, it's strong. And then it's supposed to evolve to this, to both evolving together and just passing the energy like between the two in just a loving, balanced way, right? This didn't happen. I just feel like it didn't happen. And that's why it needs healing. Like, it's it's not healed. This is the energy in your environment that's not healed. And I think it's this Hermit Scorpio energy with the Six of Cups, which is also Scorpio energy, the Six of Cups. How the energy in your environment sees you is the Eight of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Like, you're taking and planning out which action to take. You're taking action and gathering your resources on what action to take. And it might have been something you were really like passionate about too, because, and maybe this is hindering a lot of your creative energy. And maybe that's this thing in your environment that needs healing, which makes sense actually. Because they're both wands, this is a lot of like passionate and creative and fiery energy. You're trying to take action and work on getting this back. And I have a feeling that this and that story I just said that came along with it is what took your oomph. It's what you're trying to create though. And you're trying to take action. You're trying to figure out a way to get that back, that creative. I don't know if it just, you lost hope. Maybe this situation in your environment, you lost hope. Because this is also about hope. Maybe it needs healing, but you've also lost hope. Or somebody has. And that losing of hope, or having hope on something that needs healing, is either what stole this creative, passionate energy of yours, or what is hindering it. Can you tell me something about this? And you can get it back. But, I mean, you could say with the Chariot, like, oh, you need to move on. But there is something about this that needs to be integrated. Like, I mostly get with this Chariot, like, integration. It could be that maybe when somebody takes action again, it'll help you integrate. It was really a blow for you. And this is your perception anyways. This isn't really a reality. This is a perception. I don't know if there's anything more to say. Whether it's a relationship or just something that you really worked and tried for, whatever it is, did not evolve the way it was supposed to. And it really caused a block. It stole your thunder. There's things you're not seeing. Like when I was like, what advice for coming out of this? And you have the High Priestess, which is very about intuition, night energies, which is what it's actually trying to get you here. So you do want to spend time in the shadow or this intuition part. Maybe you might even want to, like I said, do some work in the night in a safe environment, obviously, or do little things to empower yourself in this energy, like I said. Because this is going to make you realize, if you do what I said in the beginning of this video, it will help you realize the misperception in this. Like, there's almost like an aha moment. But you won't get it until you do those things, until you move those energies and give yourself that opportunity to see things from a different perspective, because you're putting yourself in a different environment. You're doing things in a way you haven't done before. How are you going to see things in a way you've never seen before if you don't do things in a way you've never done before? Why is this so bright? You know, I don't know. There's things you're not seeing. Exactly, like at the bottom. You're carrying all these burdens, but there's things you're not seeing. So it's confirmation on what I said about what to do with that main card. What your hopes are is you have the King of Pentacles. So here's you wanting to go back to you. You want to be leisurely. You want to be sitting in all your glory. You know, you want to be comfortable. You want to have your money. You want to go back to the way you were. Your fears is that you have the King of Swords. And in this one, he's, you know, looking up knowledge, learning things. There's also communication, though. Like, this man has either received communication or written communication. And so when I pulled a clarifier on this, I got the Page of Wands. And this is very much also about a communication. Probably good news. I'm sorry. I have to put a piece of gum in my mouth. My throat is drying up. But your fear is that you'll get communication. The Three of Pentacles reversed. Maybe either that, I don't know, it'd either be good news or not good news. Like, either somebody doesn't want to come back together with you or doesn't want to work with you. Maybe that they're just being Page of Wandsy, like they want to go off and do their own energy. But you also have here in the likely future, Page of Wands. So maybe that's another thing. Maybe you're like the Empress energy and somebody else is wanting to create and do their own thing and they're just protecting themselves off from you. Take it as it applies. Or it could literally be like you're the Page of Wands. You have a man and a woman here. And she's doing the messaging, either giving or receiving, because it looks like he I don't know. He either received it or wrote it, but somebody's receiving a message and somebody wrote it. And I think you fear, I'm sorry, I've got to get all these juices out, that it will be a no-go. Or no cooperation, no working together. Yeah. Tell me about the fears of this communication, please. And then it will just confuse you again. Like there's loyalty and then there's, like I always get this guy as like a weasel. And then you'll end up right back at a fork in the road. Like, which way do I go? Like just whether it's a burden or just arguments, secrets, whether they're committed or having issues committing to you. Oops. Yeah, like this is karmic or something ending. You've been waiting a long time. I think in a way you want this. So let me go off what I really feel here. You really want this communication. It's part of you wants it really bad. Another part of you pretty much like knows or feels that it's not going to be good. It's going to hurt or it's going to suck. And like you'll kind of have to face reality at that point. Like it will really literally show you that there is no hope. At least right now. I don't know about the future. But right now, this situation, I don't think there's any hope for. And part of you doesn't want to give up that hope. And this is literally the energy that's blocking you. This is what's holding you back. Is not giving up hope. So whether this person's really watching you or lurking or not, this is this shadow energy that's following you. And this is this nostalgia as well. It's haunting you. And although you want this communication, you fear it at the same time. Because you're scared it will show you either the truth or maybe even not the truth, but you know it's going to shift your perception because you know there's something you're not seeing properly. It's not lining up. If it was lining up, it would be different than it is right now, but you know something's not lining up. And even though it's like you know it, part of yourself is able to lie to yourself about it. But really, this is the energy in your environment, the star card reversed. So yes, healing needs to be had. But it's also no hope. But the thing is, here's the thing. So be careful about fearing this conversation or whatever it is that may happen. This is what's blocking your true perspective shift. And it's what's holding all this energy that I've been talking about. So this true perspective shift to release this hope cannot happen in order to turn this from lost hope to healing. Until you face the music. And if there's another way you can do that, then do that another way. But you might have to just face these facts or have, if this is a conversation or whether it's with yourself, this person, this situation or whatever. So that you can give up hope. Because you holding on to this hope is what's blocking your healing. Yeah. In your likely future, see, this is why things always evolve as I talk about them, because I'm like, I don't know exactly where this is going, but I know now where this is going. You have the Knight of Swords and you have the Three of Wands, right? So here is your fast kind of communication, somebody that comes in fast. They don't really think about what they're saying. They're just with a purpose. They're doing their thing, whether this is you or somebody else. This particular Three of Wands, the ship has come in. They're not out waiting for the ship to come in. The ship has come in. But if you look, let's see if I can get it to focus. Anyways. She's holding three swords. Here's a sword, here's a sword, here's a sword. This mermaid thing. Well, it's not a mermaid thing. It's a mermaid. On the front of the boat. is holding 3 swords. There's a rat on this box. I don't know why it's not focusing. And then this guy, and then they're like dropping off boxes. But I just always get this vibe when I see this card that it just maybe not good news, or just maybe not what you expect. Tell me about. You have the Fool and the Nine of Swords. Like, I just think that this new beginning is not what you expect it to be, and there's anxiety about it. Because you've been like wanting and thinking and like obsessing over this for so long. So, I mean, your likely future, I think, per what this says, is that this conversation that part of you wants, but part of you is fearing, does happen. Whether it's just this person comes in, or whether you make this happen. And there is kind of a working on the situation, then an end, a transformation, moving to calmer waters. And then you kind of have like a realization, which is the same realization with the Page of Swords, because there's another Page of Swords. And then becomes an Emperor, which, whether this is you or them, then goes to the Sun energy. It's like, it's kind of showing the healing I was saying. And I don't know what way that'll go. It'll be like, it'll either be done, you'll lose hope and you can release it and let it go, or it can transform the situation. It doesn't matter. But there is a type of taking action and communication that happens, that comes in. I don't know if this is September or when. And it's what's needed, because it's what's going to sort of, it's going to suck for you at first, or for a minute. It's going to shift. I mean, this is a huge energy. I can feel it in the pit of my stomach. This is a huge energy. So when this gets unraveled and you are faced with that mirror, that reality, you're gonna lose hope. And it might be because of either the person's like nice about it, but they're honest or truthful, or they just have absolutely no care for your feelings. Like, because it could be with the Knight of Swords, like they come in rushing in. They're not tactful with their words. They're not careful with their words. They're just, you either realize something about the past, that it wasn't what it was, or the way they are in the present hurts you so bad that it literally, whatever happens, when that happens in the likely future, it makes you lose hope. And on one hand, that sucks, but it highlights a path for you. It causes the healing of this energy, because this having hope is what's holding this energy. It allows you to release the energy. It's a deep ingrained energy though, so it's not just like, it's gone. On one hand, it's going to be a processing through, and it's going to suck a little bit for you. On the other hand, it's going to be very freeing and liberating. And you will all of a sudden know now where to go full gusto, because it's almost like there's this, exactly like this Two of Swords, and there's a stalemate. There's two things going at each other, and there's two conflicting things. Well, now, because of the fact that you lost hope and this other thing you were sort of energy you were hanging on to, you either create a whole new path for yourself and you go that way full gusto, or you just go the other way full gusto. But I also get that, what's going to come from this in the long run? Ace of Pentacles. This is what's going to come from it in the long run. A new beginning you can build and create off of. So whether you already know what it is and it's between two, or it could be something completely that you create just off this situation, this opening or void that's now created, or this now, I almost get this vibe that this creative energy that got stuck with this old thing that never evolved the way it was supposed to, this creative energy gets unleashed. Because the energy is healed that's holding it back. It's literally like this star reversed is holding this energy hostage. So it's the same as this of what's in the center and what's crossing. This is this star reversed is holding this energy hostage. This that's within you, this creating, this coming to life, this being birthed energy. This is holding it hostage. You will find some mental ways to work around this and move forward. But it is coming in your likely future. That will have you lose hope. It's always crazy when I actually get doing this stuff, how this works. Which is funny too, because the energy on the bottom of the deck you have is the Knight of Chalices, which came up before, where I was like, I don't know, maybe it's if it's an offer or whatever. So it might even start out as an offer or just like a, hey, what's up? Or just not evolved. So I don't know if they're just, it's going to come in all different forms. So it could just be not evolved. It could be just sex. It could just be like, hey, what's up? They could come in really strong and then flake out. It doesn't matter. Either way, something is revealed about the past and or something hurts you now and causes you to lose hope. And you have the Knight of Cups, and then under that, you have the same Ace of Pentacles that I just saw, which is like what I said. What comes from this, which is this, the Knight of Cups, which is the same thing that came up before as a clarifier card. What comes from it, the same thing that's behind it, Ace of Pentacles. And you do have, too, like, behind that, you have the Three of Cups. You have the Lovers, Ten of Swords. So it's like you're able to, it's almost like, here's her. She's created a little ritual thing. And I think it's a mandrake root, but something that's been useful at one time that's no longer or whatever, like she's putting it to rest. So you literally you do have a new beginning, but you put to rest this idea of somehow something working out and coming together, back together, which is the same Lover's energy here too, down here and here. And this is the Ten of Swords, like you putting it right here, you putting it to rest. You don't invest in it anymore. Seven of Pentacles, and you have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, so here's your Ace of Swords. So literally, here's you splitting them off where you have, did I save it? No. It was a clarifier card, but it was the Four of Swords that came up, and now here's your Ace of Swords. So I love how these things come together. So the Four of Swords that came up with your conscious self for this is how you see yourself, your conscious self, which is the Six of Pentacles. How you see yourself changes. Because that was the one that had the Four of Swords. Remember I said, so apparently the Four of Swords is the one that goes to your conscious self, so maybe the Ace of Swords was your subconscious, right? And this is your subconscious. She's holding this Ace of Swords right here in her hand. She pops through. She comes through and busts through this energy which has been blocking you and holding you back. It's been trapping you, which is why there's a trap here also. It's been trapping you. So although it is going to suck, it's the best thing for you. And I'm not going to go into down the road. There's so many options to go into. We're going to stick to this and this energy, because you don't need to go into what ifs or any of that. Oh, maybe down the road. No. And to be honest with you, you're not even going to be going there. You're going to be so done. She's popping through. She or him, whatever. Your subconscious, this thing that's been hiding within you to come out and play and integrate with you, is now going to come through now that you've put this to rest. And then, boom, here's your fire creative energy. You're now in the Queen of Wands energy. Guess who got their creation and their fire and passion back? And you're going to start to create. And you're going to be sitting here like, see how she's pouring it out? She's pouring the water out. She's not like the normal 5 of Cups. She's like, boo-hoo, they fell over. She's pouring it out herself. Whatever this was, it's going to be different for each and every one of you. But you're going to pour it out. In your power. In your control. In your choosing. That's everything. That's everything. And because of this, here's your justice card. This is your justice. This is the balancing of things. This is you getting your energy back and not playing victim like boo-hoo. And you're at this crossroads. Like you're literally at this crossroads right now that you don't even know that you're at. All right. Of like you starting out as a victim. All this happens to create an impasse and a shift in the road, and now it's busting to like you and a miracle. Like literally here's you busting through. Is that a log? It's you busting through. This is a crossroads. And you may have guides to help you with this crossroads, but this is a crossroads, an impasse. And this crossroads is taking you from victim mentality to miracle and empowerment mentality. And this is giving you this justice and this shift in power because now you're the one choosing to empty that cup. This is your Tower energy. And now you're sitting in your emotions. You're like, yeah, the Queen of Pentacles come up at one point. Queen of Wands, Queen of Fire. I don't know if I've had the Queen of Swords, but it doesn't matter. You're on your way. So I hope you don't look at like, you get it. I've already said enough about it. But I wanted to know what led you from your crowning to your likely future. And you have change. I understand that that nothing can change or evolve without movement. This is why you start moving your mental pieces around, because you're like, I cannot stay stuck like this. Service. I feel good when I help others. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So it does help with your loneliness and your thoughts and everything too. But you also have curious and curiouser. Discovery, inquiry, weirdness, curiosity. Like I said, you're going to start to get more and more curious. Maybe it's after what I've said in this video. Maybe not. But yep, use your mind wisely, which I think is what you've been doing. 3 of your animal spirits. Which you have quite a few. I think someone to tell a story. But you have Badger Spirit, be fearless and bold. Brown Bear Spirit, take time out. And then Crow Spirit is co-create with Spirit. And that's what I think a lot of this is too. This is co-creating with Spirit. I've been seeing a lot of crows lately. For sure. And crows very much they're significant of the underworld and shadow work. So embrace this energy where you are and do some of the things I've been saying in the work or whatever you're feeling guided to do, because you have nothing to be scared of. This is a timeout for a reason. It's to help you learn how to co-create with yourself, with spirit, with all your inner stuff. All right, so also, don't have doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. Peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. So this is a lot what's going on with you right now. And this whole thing we're looking at. So this is a big thing too. I guess I'll say these other animal spirits real quick. So love is all around. Know that you're always loved. Know that you're always involved. Like, not involved, but don't let your mind fool you, okay? Like, because sometimes when you're in, like, the shadow of the underworld, it can be kind of lonely when you're not empowered by it, but when you are, you feel it actually strengthens you. Overcome any obstacle, so stay in your vibration. You are never alone. So this is another one that came up. So you have a lot of things here saying, I think, that you're never alone. Oh, it was a thing over here. What did I... Lonely. I know that I'm never alone. So you have a lot of things saying you're never alone. You're not. Not only do you not have you, like you have you, it's a perception, but spirit as well. Time to let go. Groundhog spirit. Butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful. Turkey spirit. Give with gratitude and grace. Koi fish spirit. There is always enough. Hummingbird spirit and scarab beetle spirit. Be here now. Magic works through you. Hummingbird is very much about also making the impossible possible, but also transforming beliefs. So don't let your mind confuse you and think that like love isn't there, or, you know, anything like that. You're going to overcome this obstacle. You're going to be able to let it go and transform. And then once you do, you're going to be in the energy of gratitude and grace and of abundance. You're going to be able to be present and you're going to be magical. This is almost like before and after. So don't be too scared about this happening or whatever this is coming. And embrace it and flow with it, because this is, okay, so let's put it this way. The same shift that you are wanting to happen, that your mind made you think was due to this person, situation, whatever, this thing is going to happen to show you that it's not them, it's within you, but it's going to help you release that energy that was blocking that perception of yours. And you are actually going to transform, but because of your own energy and your own self-love and your own abundance. Like, that's awesome. I mean, I feel you. I feel unlike what you're probably thinking by me saying this, and what you might even like kind of go through because of it. But let's put it this way. For one, I'm down if it means I transform and I become unstuck again. And for two, I'll say this. Since my awakening, it's been a crazy, beautiful ride. And not all of it pleasant. Very, very much not pleasant. But I wouldn't take it back for anything. And it's something that I could have never came up with myself. So it's learning about getting out of your own way. Because so far you have put it together yourself, and look where you are. So get out of your way and let spirit do what it's meant to do for you. Because it has ways of seeing and doing and putting things together that your human mind could have never conceived of. Okay? But, so here's another kind of just showing of what I'm saying is, it's kind of like a 4 thing. It's kind of like a waste of time because I've already said all this. I think I'm going to start just pulling like tarot cards and that's it, because my oracles just like confirm everything I'm already saying. But you have grief and confusion, and it'll cut my time zone. And then you have recovery and quest. It's like you went through some sort of grief from this not happening that needs to be healed and that you have hope over. And you haven't fully gotten over it yet. And it's caused a level of confusion, which is like this block in your subconscious. And when this happens, it recovers this part of you. And this is literally, this card is about a part of your past or your subconscious coming in, and that coming up and being observed, even the pain of it or whatever, is the key to this door, which is your new future, which puts you on the quest of exactly where you're supposed to be and your new way of going forward. And it's so pull these up. So I'll go over your oracles real quick. Just kind of work with this energy, shapeshift through this energy. Okay, this whole weird energy that you're in, like use it to be empowered and be curious and do different things. All types of things are magical and all types of things are empowering and you can create in. So learn how to create in different energies. There's not just one energy you can create in. But you have Lady Alfreda, justice will prevail. You will have justice. And it will be to your choosing. And you have time. Don't feel like you're losing this or you're running out of time or you lose it. No, it's yours. And it's even more yours if you get to work in this process and learn to empower yourself and explore different energies and all those different things. Don't become stuck. Like, try different things. Grow your solar plexus. I mean, this is going to help you grow your solar plexus like amazingly when this happens, but kind of work those muscles and do your thing, because you're going to need that learning and that experience and all that for when this comes. So do your stuff, explore different ways, explore different avenues, explore different parts of yourself, explore different faces, try new things, put yourself in different situations, not unhealthy ones or dangerous ones, but you get what I'm saying. If you normally do manifestation inside, do it outside in earth, in nature. If you normally do it during the day, try it at night. Just, you get what I'm saying? Like, I can't give you every possible scenario. Like, just do things differently and explore and do different ways, even if they make you uncomfortable. I mean, not like really uncomfortable. If your body's like, no, then don't. But you get what I'm saying? Like, push past and see that you faced fear regardless. Or that you had the confidence, or that you were strong enough, that it was all in your head. You know what I mean? And then you have Born Innocent and healing. And Born Innocent is really about, it could be sexual wounds. It's also a creative wound. So this is also, I think, why you're having this creative block with this Eight of Wands and this Ace of Wands. You have a creative block that's probably sexually and creatively blocking you. And you get that back, and there's healing to that of something that was just done to you, like kind of like this injustice. And you get healing on that. And you get this fire back and this creative energy back. And like I said, you get more in that Empress energy, which is more of that fire and that heart of a child, but not even so much with the mind of an adult, but the mind of a priestess. And you get you back, like that part of you that you felt like was taken from you. That part that took, I don't know, I guess your innocence in a way, but the one that was needed to happen for you to see the world, but at the same time, you needed healing from. And the same situation that you feel like took your innocence or seeing things about the world that created a huge scar in your heart, you get justice from and you get healing. In the meantime, though, you need to do things in the meantime. And a lot of, you know, this might be for the healers or whatever, but you have stuff to do in the meantime, so don't just lock down. You will see things when you need to. But you have Tiger Angel. This is from the Divine Circus Oracle. The universe needs you. It needs your strength, your guiding hand, your devotion, your goodness, and your protection. There are people, projects, ideas, and hopes that need your encouragement, your optimism, and your nurturing. You have helpful healing power in you. Be confident enough to be gentle, and your inner power shall uplift and protect many in this world, keeping them safe and inspiring them to trust and love. So in the meantime, while you're going through these cycles, like, don't lock down, experiment, do your work in them. All the things I said, I'm not going to say it again. You will see what you need to see when you need to see it. Don't worry about not seeing it to where you're like, you know, you're like this bear. It's under all my stuff. I'm not going to dig it up. But where he's like trying to stare at the trap and control it. It's like, I know you're coming. I'm going to be ready. I know you're coming. You have things to do in the meantime. Not only in your mission and not only to help out, but things that are going to continue to prepare you for that. Trust me, you don't need to sit there and stare at the trap or focus on it. You will know, you will be prepared, and you will be guided. Release control. Okay? Like, did I read this already? I don't know. Steampunk Princess. 1, 2, 3, trust in what you see. 4, 5, 6, the truths behind the tricks. 7, 8, 9, clarity divine. You shall see what you need to see, and at the perfect moment it shall be. Exactly like I was saying. So go play, go have fun, be creative, release the lockdown, explore different things, play, meditate, look into different things, just be different and in different energies, even if you feel uncomfortable, even if you're releasing a lot of stuff, whatever it is. I mean, obviously, if you're guided to sit and be alone and journal, then do that. If you're guided to go for a walk, go do that. You're guided to be around friends, go do that. But also look into certain things within yourself, help other people, work within the darkness. Don't lock down in the darkness. Okay? Because in the darkness is where she's going to birth through. She or he, whatever, that part of you. It's going to birth through that. So you might as well get used to it now because you're really going to be shoved into it when this happens. So get comfy. Get used to it. Become at home. You could have more than one home. It's all you anyways. It's perception and it's different parts. This is how you integrate. Is by becoming comfortable here and becoming comfortable here. And once you become comfortable with both, the walls come down and they start to fuse. And then you just go. Like it's just like bloop. This is how it happens. So get comfy. Get your blankets. Get whatever you want to do. Do work in it. Just trust me, okay? Like I said, when this happens, you're going to be shoved into that part of yourself, and it's where you're going to find that part you've been looking for. So it's going to be less of a culture shock. You know what I mean? Just navigate. Look around. Where did I read that in? The elephants. There was a thing with elephants. That, I don't know, they just became comfortable with this thing they fought for a while. And once they knew it was actually safe and better for them, they started looking into it, exploring it, and looking at all the crevices. But they thought they were unsafe. It was actually a sanctuary for them. And they kept trying to break out every day or whatever. And the guy was like, yo, you gotta stay here. It's the only safe place for you. You're gonna die if you leave. And they ended up, I don't know, it was like an elephant whisperer, but they ended up being like, okay, and staying, and they understood him or whatever. I don't know. But the point is, it was scary to them, and they kept trying to break out of it, and they thought they were in harm, and they wanted to leave, and they thought they knew what was best. And then they accepted it, and they released control, and they started exploring it and looking at all the nooks and crannies and becoming curious about it. And they actually liked it there, you know, and then they stopped trying to break out, and they were thankful they stayed. So, same message. Okay, hold on. Okay, so some of the other animal spirits real quick. So I think these are going to go. These are really strong for you. You have moose and owl. So again, this is to remind you that, yeah, you have a lot of animals for your underworld, but you also have a lot of animals for your upper world as well. I mean, even though owl is very much associated to the underworld as well and intuition, but this is to remind you that you're grounded in both. So don't play victim on it, you know? You have moose, which is very grounded in earthy nature. I don't know if that glitched out, but you have moose that is very grounded in earthy nature, but it's got these huge antennas, you know what I mean? That's like your intuition and reaching towards above. And then you have owl, which is very much about wisdom, intuition, and everything as well, and, you know, upper realms. Moose, let your head and mind reach the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. You are being guided through this. And that's why it also keeps reminding you, you are not alone. Don't ever feel like you're alone. It's perception, and it's a feeling of disconnection. And you're not. It's just the way you feel. Also a disconnection from yourself and above, so you feel alone. Owl, magic. So you have moose, wisdom, owl, magic. Wisdom, magic. Magic, wisdom, whatever. Choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better light. Rise up, better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. And with this comes, you know, you have frog prosperity, but also frogs are very much about cleansing and transformation. And frogs are very much also about the underworld. And peacock, vibrancy, like good things, cleansing. Frog, prosperity. Let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await. Peacock, vibrancy. You were born to shine and inspire. Practice humility to avoid jealousy. Be grateful for life and more things will come. Be true to yourself and recognize your brilliance. So you have a lot of energies really helping you during this. So please don't feel like you're alone, because you're not. So I'm going to pull hopefully just one Earth Magic card as guidance, and then a Shaman card, and then I'm going to be done. I might actually start adjusting these where I literally just pull tarot cards and maybe like one or two. I don't know. If the oracles are the same, I might not even read them anymore, just because it'll shorten the videos for those who don't like as long of videos and they just kind of repeat themselves. And I'll do the animal spirits. But I seem to usually get most of them off just the tarot, actually. But whatever. Sanctuary. Me and one card of Taurus. Yeah. So you have a lot of underworld stuff in Sanctuary. You have the Hermit. I just pulled Sanctuary in a cave going within. You have Island, Solitude. And I know a lot of Tauruses are feeling this. Like right now, it's just like look at the darkness in this. I mean, you have the light shining through too, but it's still beautiful though. But I know a lot of them right now are just like, they just really don't want to talk about or like be around anybody or whatever. I think I've come mostly out of the just not want to do anything, but now I'm more like out enough where I want to play and create, but still on my own. I just really don't want to talk to or do anything or anyone. Not, I want to do stuff, but just by myself mostly. You need to take some time for solitude, preferably in silence. Spend the morning, afternoon, or even the entire day by yourself, completely unplanned and unstructured. Exactly. Do different things. The bombardment of your senses by the noise and intensity of society leaves you on alert far more than is necessary. The vibration of millions of people's worry and fear throughout the world can impinge upon you and greatly affect you if you do not honor your need to pull back from time to time. When you have passed through any self-constructed barriers to enjoying the quiet peace of solitude, it will serve you best if you simply observe the thoughts and emotions that pass through you, especially those that cause you shortness of breath or a quickening heartbeat. Remember that isolation is experienced not by choice, but out of fear. Remember that isolation, you are never alone. Remember that isolation is experienced not by choice, but out of fear. When you decide to spend time with yourself in solitude, however, you are choosing to once again find and connect with who you really are. So don't be victim about this. You're doing this to empower you and show you things. What are you doing? What are you doing? All right. One card left. Hopefully, it's just one card. So, I love you guys. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. I put out different types of videos. Again, if you're interested in donations for giving and receiving energy, or if this has helped you, or you're interested in services, anything like that, all the information is in the description box below. Any cards that I use, I'll put the links for as a pinned top comment. Thank you for those who have graciously donated too, by the way. You know, all that good stuff. One card of the best card to guide Taurus right now for September 2019. Taurus. One card to guide Taurus for September 2019. So make sure you drink a lot of water during this time too, okay? And make sure you go with the flow, meditate on the element of water, but make sure you drink a lot of water. Not a lot, but a good amount. Like, don't overdrink water. You get what I'm saying? So you have the sun. And you have the heart of sky. The sun is about, have you been hibernating? Have you been introspective? It is time to come out of your cave and savor the life-giving light of our star. The sun rekindles your passion and your creative energy. Life is calling you to shine your light and to add your lightness and humor to the seriousness around you. Get out and play. So if you haven't been hibernating, then you're going to need to. I think more with this is getting, because you have solitude and then the sun. Like, do what you need to do. Always listen to your intuition. But I think enough of the, like, say if you've laid in bed a lot, or you just haven't really been doing anything, like you just really have just been like straight, just nothing. It's probably time to come out of that. And you probably do still want to be in your own energy and hear and create and stuff on your own. I mean, be around people if that's what you're guided to do. But start to play and create in that darkness. Don't just stay stuck in the darkness where you're just like, you can't move, you can't think, you can't talk, you can't do anything you normally like to do. Like, still do stuff, you know what I mean? That you can still do all the same stuff. It's just if you don't really want to be around people as much, then don't be around people and do it. If you do sometimes, then do. Just start to play and be creative in the energy, even in solitude. Like, that's kind of where I am right now, where I'm like, I wasn't doing anything in my solitude, and now I still want to be in my solitude. I don't really want to talk to a lot of people, but I want, like, I feel better and want to play more and experiment and create and do different things. So I hope that makes sense. Always listen to your intuition, though. And then you have the Heart of Sky. The Heart of Sky brings you a sacred reminder. You are a channel for the original energy of creation. Become the paintbrush, the canvas, and the artist, all guided by the Heart of Sky. Let your intention ethically and clearly, or set your intention ethically and clearly, and allow the universe to take care of the details. And that's exactly what I was saying, where it was like, you can't create this stuff. You're sitting where you are right now because you've tried and it hasn't worked out for you and you're hitting a roadblock. So get out of your own way and let spirit create. But you have to be in your cave enough to do it and to hear it in a way. But you have to be out of it enough to let it create through you, is what these two cards are saying. Which is kind of like wrapping up what I was saying already. It's exactly the reason why. I guess it's kind of cool when it's confirmed through Oracle, but so yeah, still be, you know, to yourself and do your hermit thing if you want to, but play and create. Try different things, you know? Have fun with it. Go with the flow. Make sure you drink a lot of water to help process these energies. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your help. I hope this really helps you. For any of you who are in these energies, I'm going to try to do a suicide video too, because I think a lot of people really need that, but don't give up. You know, it's a cycle. You're going to come out of it. You're going to be done. Just keep stepping forward. Keep trudging along. Look up a suicide hotline, obviously, too, if you really need help with it. Always go see doctors, medical personnel, everything like that. But please just remember, these are cycles and these are things that just, they're going to be released and you will come out of it. Just keep going along and pull yourself out of it if you need to. Look from a different perspective. You are not the pain. Remember that. I hope some of these tactics helped you, or these tips I was saying. So I love you guys. I'll be seeing and talking to you soon. Bye.